align the audio. Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about the song that you performed on by Popular Demand?
For sure. So I wrote that song like not for that performance, but it kind of helped me to shape it, knowing that I had like a specific thing to perform.
Yep.
And yeah, it's called Silence, and it's about the experience of somebody or a situation where you have been silenced, and the kind of journey of refinding your voice and starting to remember like who you are before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you talked about this on the show.
Yeah.
But can you like run me through some of your inspirations, especially your non-musical influences?
Yeah, for sure. So inspirations, I guess. Yeah, well, musically, I'm really inspired by like Bon Iver, James Blake, an amazing artist from Nam called Alicia Joy. She's a vocalist. And non-musically, I guess I'm really inspired by like surrealist artwork, which I didn't realize until not that long ago.
Yeah.
I was like looking at my Pinterest board,
Yeah.
which I do ever so often, and I looked at it all and I was like, oh, like it's a very specific style, but like I don't know what that is. And then my sister looked at it and she was like, oh, it's like all surrealist inspired, which is basically like taking small like elements that are like abstract or from like the subconscious mind. So like visually, I think I'm really inspired by like the surrealist movement.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cool. How does that influence the genre of music that you produce and create? And you had like a fun way to describe, a quite unique way to describe that genre. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I think I described it as Australian Soul Electronica.
Yeah.
Is that are they the buzzwords? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess those words came to me kind of like halfway through last year.
Yeah.
And they were really surprising actually. It kind of like I've found that after writing I kind of will write music and then I'll be like, what? I didn't realize what that sounded like. And then from there, then I'll like find the words to describe it, if that makes sense. So yeah, like I grew up regionally. I'm from the country in New South Wales, and that's a big part of how I see the world is from like growing up in a regional place. And I've always really been drawn to like electronic music in the more like not necessarily EDM, though I do love EDM, but I think it first inspired me to do electronic stuff with the more like abstract like sound art kind of like what's that movement from the like 30 music concrete, which is about like collaging sound.
That's so cool.
I think that's like where that came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And with such like a unique personal style, how do you go about being in a fairly small cohort? Maybe it's quite large and compared to other music schools, but compared to like other faculties, it is quite a small cohort that requires quite a lot of collaboration. How do you like maintain that personal flair when you're with so many other equally like unique and interesting people?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I'm very inspired by the people around me, and I think having a group that size, what was it, like probably like 25?
Yeah.
I really got to know people and over like hanging out with them and like just having lunch, and like you'd end up kind of talking about music. Everyone's so different, which I think was actually a really productive thing in a group because we all would be like, whoa, what is that? Like, that's so cool. So I guess for me, the collaborative aspect, like, really helped inspire. And like, I guess with such everyone being so different and a lot of double degrees, so many people, you just end up in conversations where someone would just be talking about like something you've never heard of, or like a drum technique, or like a political movement, or like psychology, like, and you just have these conversations. So I think in that sense it's quite a nurturing space to become more individual, because you just get all this variety.
And I guess everyone's personality is like they're taking bits of inspiration and things that they really
of
like.
course. And I think that really helped in this environment because we weren't like tunneled into one thing, so you could just like explore, which was really helpful.
I love that. And so what was the sort of like the process of making By Popular Demand, and what was that like? What was that like?
It was so fun. It was actually so much fun. I'm really excited to see it when it airs because I haven't seen it. The process, I personally was on the committee. So we would have like a few planning meetings beforehand. And that committee was just like students, like in our lunch break, just like rocking up, being like, oh, this color would be cool for the logo, like blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the process was super hands-on and very collaborative. I spent time doing like being on the cameras at some point and like helping with the audio, and like it was kind of just rock up and help where you can. And you got to kind of be in a space with like professional like audio people and lighting and like cameras, and like it just was basically like a playground for the students involved, because you could just kind of be like, oh, I want to spend half an hour on this camera now, or I want to shadow the lighting people. So that was really fun. And I guess what else? From a performance point of view, it was also really, really creative and really fun. Because you just get to work with more than just audio, which is not something you often get to do. Like you're kind of just thinking about like the music, whereas you could play with like the cameras, like the cameras would follow you, so you could kind of direct them as you go. And the lighting is inspiring. Like everything was inspiring in that space.
Like the whole package.
Which was so cool, because like when do you on like a student budget, so it's really cool. It's cool.
Do you think that experience has like influenced or inspired the next steps in your music career?
For sure. I feel like I don't even, there's like some of it's conscious, I think some of it's subconscious, which is always fun because then it just reveals over time. But I definitely enjoy the like performance and like kind of movement aspect. Like I do a bit of like dance stuff in the start, which was like improvised, and that took me by surprise. And I think since then I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I can actually do whatever the fuck I want, like, and I think that is the main takeaway. It's like you can explore and play and build your own creative world where you feel comfortable, and that is like super.
Like the visuals, and like the feelings that
and that's probably what I got out of it most. And also I just freaking loved playing with like the people on stage. Like it's so fun. Loved it.
That's awesome. What are your like next steps after finishing up here?
Yes, this is a good question. I well, I've kind of finished The Bachelor now.
Yeah. That's
So
wild.
it is wild. It's weird. I woke up on the 1st of February and I was like, this is like, there's like no structure here anymore. It's like 17 years because I went straight out of school into a bachelor. So it's like, oh, I thought I hated structure. Like all this time I was like, ew, education structure. Like I just want to be like free flowy and like all of that. And then I realized that I actually need some of that. So at the moment, it's just working out some structure. I'm keeping working on my solo project, and I'm helping some of my friends with their solo projects as well, like in a more producer, like audio tech role. And yeah, I'm really excited for both of those things.
So can you tell me a bit about your solo project that you have coming up?
Yeah. So I guess my main priority is just keeping on exploring live environments. So gigging. And also recording. So kind of just creating a bit of a feedback loop, because that's what I realized last year was from writing the stuff and recording it, then you like collaborate, and that gives the idea like more room to grow, and then you perform it and then it's different again. So I'm just really like interested in observing where the music goes and like experiencing it with other people. I don't have like any solid plans to release anything or any particular gig like goals. I just want to enjoy myself. Like I just want to enjoy and like keep creating. And see where that goes.
And so you did straight music, or did you do it with a double?
Straight.
Nice. So long term, I guess, do you have any goals, or are you kind of just going step by step?
I feel like step by step. I know that as long as I'm creating music in some capacity, and that I'm like pushing my own boundary, that's the goal, which sounds pretty, I don't know, open, but it is open. I think because I don't know exactly what, like it keeps evolving. So I'm like, there's no point me being like, oh, I want to play this like this specific venue and sell it out, which is geared towards this genre, because I'm like, I don't know what I'll be doing in 2 years or something. So I guess that's my goal, is just like keep creating, keep growing as a person.
If you look back at the person you were and like the sort of music that you were interested in making back when you started your degree, how do you think that's changed?
Oh, bless. I love that. I love thinking about that, because it's like, whoa. I would not have thought I'd be making this. What's changed? I definitely came into music's always been like quite a personal thing for me, and I came into the degree being like, well, I know I want to do music, but I don't know what that looks like. And then I kind of got slammed with all the like tech and like all the hard stuff. So I guess like I came in, I've always been a singer-songwriter. But looking back, I guess I'm really proud and inspired by the way that my mindset's changed over the time. I think there was definitely like elements of, I just want to be a famous singer, like, which of course is like normal given the culture that we create around music. So I guess just like questioning those kind of things and like reconstructing that, and then realizing actually like this is good. Like as long as I'm just keeping making, then like that's everything that I could want anyway. And the other stuff's like separate anyway. But
so it's like there's a separation between like because like the music you're making is so personal to you and like true to your how your like life in that moment, other people's like perception of it or like other people's experiences is also their personal thing rather than
Of course, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a really healthy that's like feels like a healthy balance
yeah, absolutely.
because you leave other people to their own self and feeling and interpretation and you just do your bit of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's important is to just like do your bit, play your part in what's being created and then just meditate a lot and just let the rest go, you know, like yeah.
And so what advice would you give to people who were just starting off this course or music in general or were thinking about it?
Yeah, for sure. That is hard to give general advice.
Yeah.
I feel like I have these conversations a lot with people when it's like one-on-one, like yeah. But I guess generally I would just say keep the most like important thing for me has been to like create a safe space for your personal practice and just like do whatever you need to do to keep that space, whether it's like a room in your house or like a practice room at uni or just keep, and if you don't have that, that's fine, but like that's a priority to find that, you know. Do you need to be in a blanket writing in your journal? Is that your safe space? Like, and that's where a lot of growth can happen is from that space, and that will change and expand and stuff. But yeah, that would be my like
so
advice.
what does that like safe space look like for you?
Yeah, it's changed. Like it's definitely changed. I always, as a kid, I always like outside. I just played outside a lot. That was like my safe space. And then it's changed. Yeah, it changed over time. It then kind of became my bedroom. Have any safe space. That's why I know that it's important now because I went through times when I didn't. Now it looks like my studio in my house. And my own body. Like that's which is really fun to be like I don't need to like enter a certain, I mean it's, you know, some days are easier than others, but I feel like I'm getting to that point where I'm like I can just, this is the safe space, you know.
That's so cool.
Which is fun. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh my god, good to chat. Good to chat.
Yeah, really well.
Yay! Smashed it.